Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we are jumping straight into some absolutely fascinating research by Dr. Hannah Critchlow at Cambridge University. We're going to explore how power literally rewires our brains, and more importantly, how we can future-proof our minds in the age of AI. We're going to break down some really complex neuroscience to see exactly what happens inside our heads when we take charge and how we can actually hold on to our humanity. So let's dive into this biological mystery. You know the classic trope, right? The good person who gets a big promotion and suddenly seems, well, completely disconnected from the realities of their team. It turns out this isn't just an attitude problem or someone getting a big head. It's actually a profound neurobiological shift. Does gaining power actually rewire your brain? The short answer is yes, absolutely. And the mechanics of how it happens are going to blow your mind. To understand leadership and power, we first need to look at Section 1, shaping our emotional intelligence. For a long time, we kind of assumed human success was all about cold, hard logic. Emotions were just these sloppy, messy things that needed to be pushed aside. But today, we know for a fact that emotional intelligence is the ultimate predictor of success and life satisfaction. And here is where it gets really interesting. Empathy is actually only about 10 to 45% heritable, meaning your genes don't run the show here. The vast majority of it, up to 90%, is shaped entirely by your environment and your habits. This happens through an incredible mechanism in our brains called synaptic plasticity. And honestly, this is fantastic news. It means our emotional intelligence isn't set in stone. It's something we can actively build, like a muscle. So how do we actually elevate our EQ day to day? Well, it comes down to really simple actions. Making direct eye contact, practicing self-compassion by actually listening to our own emotions, or even just reading a good fiction book to put ourselves in someone else's shoes. These things physically shape our brain's empathy networks. And get this, we can literally feed our emotional intelligence. One recent study took 100 volunteers and gave half of them prebiotics and probiotics for just a few weeks. That incredibly simple dietary change actually enhanced their altruistic and egalitarian behavior. How wild is that? That brings us right to Section 2, how power dampens empathy. This is where we hit a major paradox for leaders. Sure, sometimes it helps not to be overly swayed by everyone's emotions when you have to make a really tough call. But biologically, this mechanism goes way too far. Deep in our nervous system, we have what are called mirror neuron circuits. These are the nerve cells responsible for imitating others and physically feeling empathy. In a standard brain, these circuits are highly active. But when someone gains power, the electrical activity in those mirror neurons actually quietens down. Think about that for a second. Gaining power physically dampens the exact brain circuits you need to feel empathy. It biologically isolates leaders from the very people they're trying to lead. But the story doesn't just end inside our skulls. Let's look at Section 3, the gut, heart, and brain. We tend to think of the brain acting entirely alone, like a supercomputer locked away in a vault. But our peripheral nervous system is hugely involved in how we think. We store vast amounts of knowledge about the outside world, not just in our heads, but in the nerve cells of our gut and our heart. Enter the vagus nerve. Think of it as a massive biological cable running all the way from your gut and your heart straight up to a region in your brain called the insula. The insula's job is to monitor information from your body and your environment. So when you get a sudden gut feeling about a decision, or your heart kind of flickers in a tense situation, that isn't just a metaphor. That is literally your peripheral nervous system sending crucial data up the vagus nerve to help guide your choices. And this perfectly illustrates the systemic danger of power. Not only are your mirror neurons quieting down, but being in power also dampens your vagal nerve sensitivity. This means leaders physically lose the ability to take on board collective wisdom from the outside world. They quite literally become less capable of feeling those essential gut instincts that are informed by the environment and the people around them. Okay, so what's the fix? Let's get into Section 4, neuroscience hacks for leaders. Because of that synaptic plasticity we talked about earlier, there are actual science-backed ways to immunize ourselves against this neurotoxicity and future-proof our nervous systems so we stay connected. Here is a super effective, incredibly simple routine. It's called the 60-second empathy workout. Step 1, do just 30 seconds of exercise to get your heart rate up. Jumping jacks, a quick sprint in place, whatever works for you. Step 2, stop and spend the next 30 seconds intensely tuning in and listening to that strong heartbeat. If you do this daily for just a few weeks, you actively habituate our brain to listen to your peripheral nervous system again. It physically reconnects you with your embodied cognition and the wisdom of the outside world. We also can't ignore the basic foundations of brain focus. Navigating the modern world takes a massive toll, and your brain needs support. Avoiding processed foods, getting proper sleep so you can actually consolidate new memories and habits, and regular exercise, which literally creates new nerve cells in your hippocampus for learning, these are absolute non-negotiables. Maintaining this foundational brain health stops your thoughts from becoming chaotic. In fact, Professor Zoltan Sarniai proved this in some amazing trials. He showed that simply changing a patient's diet could effectively remove debilitating disorganized symptoms in people with schizophrenia or bipolar disorder. Diet directly impacts clear, precise thinking. And what happens when you're dealing with constant uncertainty? When a leader faces ambiguity, the brain is doing immense metabolic heavy lifting, and that leads to chronic stress. That stress is highly neurotoxic. It literally strips away neural connections and stops new nerve cells from forming. To combat this, you can use box breathing. You just inhale for 4 seconds, hold, exhale for 4 seconds, and hold, mentally tracing a box shape while you do it. This incredibly simple act physically calms the nervous system, allowing you to approach all that uncertainty with a feeling of possibility instead of fear. Now that we've hacked the individual leader's brain, let's explore Section 5, boosting team brain synchronicity. It is so crucial for groups to work well together, and today, scientists can literally measure the magic of how groups of brains sync up electrically. To really grasp why this matters, take a look at this massive number, 11 million. That is the number of bits of data entering our senses every single second. Our brains are essentially prediction machines, trying to navigate a world of massive uncertainty, completely bombarded by this overwhelming torrent of sensory information. Now compare that 11 million to this number, 40. We are consciously aware of only about 40 bits of data per second. That means our brains are actively discarding a staggering amount of information. We are forced to take massive cognitive shortcuts, heavily relying on our past experiences just to create a lens of expectation so we can keep up with reality without blowing a fuse. Because every single person is using different mental shortcuts, teamwork can be really tough. But if we hook a team up to an EEG machine, we can actually measure their brain synchronicity, which is basically how well their electrical traces line up. And that synchronicity directly predicts how well they build consensus, learn, and innovate. The cool part? We can intentionally boost this, making direct eye contact, being in a good mood, exercising together, or engaging in deeply evolutionary rituals like singing or chanting together. These actions physically sync up the electrical activity across different brains in the room. And this brings us to one of the most astonishing findings in the whole research. It is absolutely wild. Within literally 30 seconds of strangers meeting, the electrical traces in their brains begin to line up. By observing this electrical dance on an EEG, researchers can perfectly predict who is going to emerge as the leader of the group. The person who subtly falls in line with others but ultimately leads that electrical synchronicity is always the one who takes charge. All of this points towards something so much larger. Let's finish with Section 6, the human hive mind. To really see our evolution of connection, just look back to the 21st century BC. Humanity underwent this massive shift, the widespread use of the written word, new tools, the birth of cities. Today, in the 21st century AD, our synaptic plasticity has pushed us to develop the internet, social media, and AI. These are all technologies fundamentally designed to share perspectives globally. We are biologically driven to connect. Which perfectly sets up this profound thought from Dr. Hannah Critchlow. She says we're undergoing a massive evolutionary transition towards creating a hyper-connected organic computer or a human hive mind. Think about that. Many researchers genuinely believe we are essentially building an interconnected superbrain. As AI and technology take over the heavy lifting of raw data processing, our most vital survival tool for the future is going to be our ability to truly value human connection, sync our brains, and continuously challenge each other's perspectives. So as you navigate your own leadership journey, I want you to remember this explainer's core biological lesson. Power is naturally going to try and quieten your mirror neurons, and it will try to dampen your vagus nerve. But now that you know this, what are you going to do? Will you just let power disconnect your mind? Or are you going to use your brain's incredible plasticity to actively practice empathy, sync up with the people around you, and actually help lead the human hive mind? The choice and the biological capability is entirely yours.